Okay, time has come for the last presentation of the day and a very interesting two-day seminar. And next up we have Lauri Ojanen from the National Library of Finland, one of the partners of the Finnish Museum of Games in preserving Finnish game heritage, but also doing a lot of stuff on their own and probably more than we are doing. Lauri, please.
Hello. As you heard, my name is Lauri Ojanen. I work as a library secretary at the National Library of Finland in the legal deposit office. One of my, I do stuff with games. That's the easiest way to describe what I do there. What we have is roughly around 2,000 board games, card games, role-playing games, video games and puzzles, and we get it by the name of law. We are, everything that's published in Finland should be sent to us because of the law, the Act on Collecting and Preserving Cultural Material from 2007, and in 2007 games were added to the law as well. So everything that's published in Finland should come to us, including games. But as well as the physical media, we collect game-related stuff from the internet. We collect also the Finnish internet as well as the physical stuff. Next up, I will present to you some things where you can browse what we have. The next one is an open one, Doriafi, which is a multi-institutional repository maintained by the National Library of Finland. It has a lot of stuff from a lot of organizations, but ours is probably the biggest. And what we've done is we've digitized board games from 1819 to 1949, mostly Finnish games, but also if you're from Sweden, because the donation collection from Professor Markus Brummer-Korvenkontio has Swedish games also, because they've been played in Finland, because we've been under Sweden in the history, and there are a lot of Swedish people, Swedish-talking people, so the games are here, and we got them. So everything in that collection is fairly accessible because they have expired copyrights. You can download them, you can print them, you can make playable copies of them. This has been pretty popular. I think the most loads have the Punaisten ja Valkoisten taistelu Suomessa, which is a red and white battle in Finland, which is a civil war game which was published at the year the Civil War was in Finland. It has roughly 3,000 downloads, which is pretty good. The second one is Warriorfi. It's not freely accessible because of the Finnish copyright laws, but we have some digitized games also there, but you can only access them through the legal deposit workspaces in Helsinki, Joensuu, Jyväskylä, Oulu, and Turku. Hopefully the copyright laws will change one day and we can give them access for free for everyone from their home computers, but that might take a while. Our preservation projects. We've done game-related online harvests in 2010 and 2015. Pelimuseo was the Finnish Museum of Games was also part of it. Niklas participated at that. And also, we're digitizing board games pretty much all the time. We do it in Helsinki, and we have a digitizing center in Mikkeli. They do it as well. We've digitized our magnetic medias. We started it in Mikkeli in 2015. We sent our C64 tapes for them to digitize. They took the audio dumps of them, and we kind of we didn't know what to do with them for a while. We knew we can run them on emulators, but we knew they have restrictions, like copy restrictions, which might make them no work. But we have the audios, so we have the media, but we still don't know how to make them accessible. But the floppy disks we did that as a project with Kasettelamerit. I don't remember the exact amount, but there were hundreds of floppy disks, and Aki Sivula and Tommi Lemppinen from Kasettelamerit did the work in 2 days, if I remember correctly, in Mikkeli, which was pretty astounding and great, because now we have the data in digitized form as well as in the floppy disks. I tried to keep it as short as possible, so this is pretty much what I have. If you have questions, please ask. This is just a scratch of everything we've done, so maybe it's easier if you ask what we do.
Okay, yes.
So you showed us the board games you're collecting on the base of your deposit law, I guess, and it's also relevant for digital games. All right.
Yeah, we do get games from 2007, but we have earlier games too, but because of the copyright laws we can't make them freely accessible because they are, you know, newer than from 1949.
Then I have the question, if you're already cooperating with Cassetti Lamani, the labels from the cassette community. And you said you're very limited to give access because people have to come on site to access what you have digitally archived, but at least it's an option.
Yeah.
And so I wonder why you, if you have considered a setup which would give the lamers from the cassette fraction an option to make their dumps available, of course in a very, very limited scale, but at least in general. And that, of course, would benefit and makes it more likely that you might get resources for the documentation which is needed. Have you considered such a setup?
We have considered it. We got a donation from Aki from Kasettelamerit a while ago, and we have the data in digital form as well, and we have a knowledge of what there is in that dump. But it comes to the resources from us also, that if we get the dump, we probably don't have the resources to go through that and catalog it, even if we get it. And then there's the legal problem as well, that we don't have the physical copies, so we can't put the digital copies available because we don't know the source of them. So that's the problem as well. I don't know if I answered your question
yes,
properly.
I did answer my question, but that brings me to the next question.
Okay.
Why not starting with a small sample where you can provide them with copies of the disk? They are already documented, 20, 30, 50 of your programs which are somehow safe and which you can offer to be accessed on site. And from that point, starting to try to get additional funding, not in-house funding, but maybe project funding, which you also can join to the application, and start getting further resources for further documentation and for further programs which might be accessible on site.
The idea with Aki's donation is that we will do that step. We will put it available in some form. I don't know when, hopefully next year. It will take probably 2 years, who knows. But because we have the data, we have the metadata, we have everything, so we can do it. I think it will be our first demo project for this. So yeah, it will happen at one point. The next step, hopefully when this happens, we will, seek publicity, get publicity. Hopefully the funders find out what we do, realize how important it is, and that's how we get the money. Hopefully, this is hopefully the plan.
Great.
Okay. Any more questions?
Can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you heard the presentation earlier where the legal issues were raised as a concern.
Yeah.
And that the group over here are trying not to do anything illegal or share the content.
Yep.
Have I understood correctly from your presentation that if you have the disc, you can have the image and emulate it and make it accessible within the library?
In my knowledge, yes.
Great. So, problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right. One more question. Okay.
So the National Library only accepts actual publications, and many of those dumps, they aren't actually publications, so those are something we can't take.
So, okay, maybe we will now wrap it up. Thank you for a very interesting discussion. Thank you for your presentation, Lauri. Let's give a big hand. And thank you everybody for a very nice 2 days here in Tampere with Collaborative Game Histories.
And we should announce